Mexican Independence Weekend, September 17th, Canelo versus Smith.
There is a sense with Canelo that he's destined for big things.
This, in the view of Mexican fans, is the future.
¡Viva México!
Canelo Alvarez is in the zone right now. And Sorley's gonna stop the fight. Oh, hard right hand knocked Khan close with that shot.
When a champion arises to battle the foe with the power of his people in each crushing and flaming on the
Middleweight champion of the world.
Viva Mexico!
Tremendous uppercut for Alvarez to stop the fight.
He's a hero created with steel in his eyes.
Scintillating, fighting down the stretch of the fight. There's a perfect straight right hand.
Canelo has the heart of a champion.
Pay any price for freedom.
When you go at him, he comes back at you.
And he tells him to bring it. Canelo answers back.
Oh, he hit him with the right hand. Knockout.
Liam Smith, an aggressive, relentless fighter. His previous 8 opponents have fallen before the final bell.
For Liam Smith, this is his big night. It is all over, and Liam Smith is champion of the world.
Brutal combination by Alvarez.
What a performance by Canelo Alvarez.
Pues yo cuando empecé a venir a este parque tenía como entre 16 y 17 años, entonces ya era un boxeador profesional, entonces veníamos a correr aquí ya para una preparación. Para mí siempre, cuando yo empezaba, siempre de lugar a lugar era muy retirado porque siempre andaba en camión. A mí cualquier lugar que iba o que estaba era 2 horas, hora y media. Entonces, mismo entusiasmo, con la misma hambre de triunfo, con las mismas ganas de salir adelante todavía más. Entonces, nunca, yo creo que mi esencia como persona, mi familia, la educación que me han dado, la gente que me rodea, creo que eso ya es la esencia de cada persona.
You know, a lot of fighters come here in all of them, and I'm not coming here in all of them. I'm coming here to win, I'm not coming here to make numbers up, I'm coming here to defend my title. I'm not a small, over-the-hill Miguel Cotto, I'm not a blown at 147 like Amir Khan, I'm a big 154.
Everything is at stake here. These are really fighters that will be referred to as great fighters. It's all there to have an epic night.
Both of these fighters come from boxing families. Boxing is in their blood.
Es un peleador peligroso. ¿Por qué? Porque es un peleador joven, es un peleador fuerte, es un peleador con hambre también de triunfo. Es un peleador que viene por esa oportunidad de ganarme, ¿no? Entonces, un peleador es más peligroso todavía por eso, ¿no? Entonces, sé con qué mentalidad viene, sé que él es campeón, se ve arriba del cuadrilátero, cuando pelea se ve con experiencia, se ve tranquilo. Entonces, va a ser una pelea muy emocionante, va a ser una pelea dura, pero me encantan, me encantan. Yo siempre que estoy en el cuadrilátero disfruto estar arriba del ring, disfruto tener ese reto enfrente y saber cómo descifrar cada cosa que quiera hacer.
He wants to take risks. He wants to fight the best.
He's fighting with body language that says, I can't lose.
Cuando peleé con Angulo, lo más peligroso era su aguante y su pegada, ¿no? Con Kirkland, pues un peleador zurdo, un peleador que te tira golpes por todos lados, fuerte, que con un golpe puede terminar la pelea. quizás Angulo y Kirkland son peleadores fuertes, pero este es más peligroso porque es fuerte y piensan. Me gustan los retos, me gusta seguir, quiero hacer historia en este deporte, tengo hambre de triunfo y eso es lo que busco en este deporte, porque amo y disfruto el boxeo, entonces quiero hacer lo mejor que se pueda en este deporte y me encantan los retos.
That's a big right hand, but he's gone face down, and I don't think he'll get up from that.
Bravery is keeping him upright. Oh, and then down he goes.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, mate, hope you kick his ass, buddy.
Thanks. I'm so proud of you.
Well, Liam Smith, being undefeated, doesn't know how to lose. He has that mentality of a champion. He has that mentality that I'm gonna go out there and knock you out. 8 of his last fights have not made that final bout.
If you're made the right stuff, these fighters are made of the right stuff, but I'd rather be the underdog. It gives you, in my mind, better angles. And that's not physical, that's just mental.
I think you've got to have a bit of grit coming from Liverpool. It's a tough area, it's a tough city. You know, you're brought up in. No, I was getting brought home from the police, 8 years of age, for doing stupid things. My uncle used to walk me to school. I'd say, I'm here now, and as soon as he'd go, I would get off. Got brought home from school, for the police. I was on a school roof, throwing stones at taxis, and you know, because they used to chase you, and I used to think it was funny. I was a bit of a rogue as a young kid. You know, I was a fat kid, I was a chunky, very, very young age, and my dad called me here, and it just stuck with me from there. There's times my mum has come to pick me up when I've been out with friends, and we used to play football on a car park, and she turns up and said, "Is Liam there?" And someone, "No, who's Liam?" It's gone, "Beefy," and it's gone, "Oh yeah, he's over there playing footy." And so it stuck with me, and I have a lot of people, a lot of family members even who call me it now, but you know, I fight with it on my shorts, so I can't complain. They still call me it when I'm still using it. Now this is how much of a bad kid I was in school. I slipped on that bench, stepping over it, walking to school with Paul and Stephen. Got to school, I said, I broke my arm. No, I think I was 7 years of age. I said, I broke my arm. So the teacher never believed me. So the teacher left me in school. The teacher sent me flowers because she never believed me. When I think back to the days when I was in this school, the days when I was in this school, I didn't want to box. This school was the days I wanted to play football. I used to play football up and down this yard every break I got. And, you know, that was, you know, part of it. Obviously, 14, when I started boxing, I was in senior school, I was in high school when I started boxing, so all my times in the junior school, it was football, football, football. Yeah, when you brought the football out, you would think it was set up, and it weren't. You know, I think Canelo's asked for the ball. I seen him getting the ball, because I remember thinking, I want to kick that ball. I want to see if I could, you know, kick a field goal. Went back to the 35 line, which is 45 yards, and I just missed the post by inches. And then the next attempt, I done it, and you know, I think I could probably go further again. I think I've done it with a bit to spare. I couldn't get the whole screen in on a phone, so that's how, you know, how big it was. It was huge, and I was proud looking at it, to be honest with you. I thought, you know, this is what I've worked my whole career for, and to see that there, I thought, now I'm reaping the rewards. Now this is, you know, this is the top of the iceberg where I've aimed to be.
Hi, mate. All right. What's your name, mate? Sam. What do you want, mate? Ice cream or? You know, that is the corner. That was where our house was built. It didn't look as clean. It didn't look as nice as it does now. But in front, this was the back of our house. Mine was always football in front, and then when I was old enough to come round, that's where I was every day with friends, football. 10, 11, 12, 13, if I came over this gym, it was not a box. I didn't really, you know, come here to learn when I first come in here. I come in here to mess about. I used to swing on the ropes that were hanging.
When he finally did join the gym, go through his stages of learning his footwork to his stand-up, everything else like that, I remember saying to there Paul, who was like my best mate at the time, there's something about him. There's just something about him, his temperament. He was competitive then, and right through his boxing career as an amateur and a professional now, he's so competitive, and no matter what he does, we call him Sport Billy.
I was a well-schooled amateur. I'm from a very, very good and successful amateur gym in the Rotunda ABC. I've had great coaches there. So, you know, I've won national titles. I didn't win national titles in the amateurs by just walking through people, you know, the amateurs. And I've won numerous England international fights from 14 to 19. So I had 80 fights in 5 years.
He's going to make a massive, massive statement over in America. And I know what the outcome of this fight's going to be. Win all day long.
This car is cool.
Thank you.
When did you get this car?
1 month ago.
It's like a Mercedes Jeep.
Yeah, G500. Todos los que tengo son son favoritos, ¿no? Porque por eso los tengo, pero el que me gusta manejar, el que disfruto manejar mucho, es el Mustang Shelby. Que traigo ganas de manejar rápido, manejo rápido, ¿no? Pero ya me he calmado un poquito en ese sentido, pero me gusta ir a los arrancones, me gusta ir a las pistas y llevar mis carros. Me gusta mucho la velocidad, es una de las cosas, de las adrenalinas que más disfruto.
Canelo, he's like a train that just keeps picking up speed. The big right hand across the road.
Gusta obviamente el boxeo, la adrenalina, la mejor adrenalina que hay, ¿no? ¿Por qué? Porque amo el boxeo.
The hand speed difference is very clear. Canelo working. Huge body shot by Canelo. Canelo is heading his way.
Good job for showing his speed and excellent boxing here.
This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
This is scored as a knockout.
Right hand shot by Canelo.
¿Están hablando de acá?
Pues lo hago de vez en cuando cuando está él, porque le gusta la carne esa como se prepara. Salió con la novedad de que está güero, tiene el pelo rojo, y no se le ven ni las pestañas de güeras que está.
Nos veníamos caminando al gimnasio para entrenar. Fue por el año 2004, un día como muchos, que no tenía nada especial. Pensé, ahora me doy cuenta que fue un día muy, muy especial, porque ese día llegó un muchachito de 13 años, fuerte, blanquito con pecas en la cara y el pelo rojo. Venía acompañado de su hermano mayor. Él quería ser campeón del mundo y su hermano lo trajo con nosotros. Desde un principio sabíamos que iba a pasar algo.
El diferente en el gimnasio, ¿no? Y apodos y me traían ahí en friega, ¿no? Porque era diferente a todo, ¿no? La carrilla me hacía enojar y entrenaba más fuerte y decía, un día me los voy a chingar.
Porque todos entrenaban. Entonces nos ocurrió la idea de hacer una función de todos. Había 4 profesionales y 3 amateurs.
Fue muy corta mi carrera amateur, un poquito menos de 2 años. A los 15 años debuté profesional.
En este ring justamente fue donde se empezó a escribir la historia de Saúl y Canelo Álvarez.
Yo siempre he dicho que nací para esto, nací para el boxeo. Y pues obviamente viene de mi familia también, la genética de mis hermanos, de mi familia.
Let's talk about Canelo Alvarez's return is set on September 17th. We'll be facing Liam Smith, the AT&T Stadium in Texas. I'm sure it will be in the discussion for Fight of the Year.
Let's go.
Where's the seatbelt?
I don't have. Right now.
Dar todo arriba del ring, pero vamos a salir con la mano en alto y creo que va a ser su última pelea de Margarito porque lo vamos a retirar.
Es mi hermano, es mi familia y para mí es importante también ayudarle en lo que yo puedo. ¿Qué más que yo ayudarle en el sparring, no? Que llegue bien preparado a su pelea.
Él se me está prestando como si fuera Margarito, pero pues, obviamente con mucha rapidez, mucho movimiento. Pues entre familia, para eso estamos, para ayudarnos. Creo que lo mejor es la familia. Él lo sabe, yo lo sé y yo estoy para él apoyarlo en lo que sea también, así como él me está apoyando ahorita.
Nosotros desde que éramos chicos pues nos gustaron los golpes. Somos muchos hermanos, hombres, hasta entre nosotros nos peleábamos. Ellos dos eran los que más se peleaban de chicos. Una vez Ramón le puso una friega a Saúl cuando estaba chiquillo y pues Saúl se agarraba chillando, se agarraba llorando y se iba para decirle a mi mamá o a mi papá. Ya después fueron creciendo y ya fueron cambiando las cosas. Después Saúl era el que se chingaba a Ramón.
¿Quién es el más inteligente?
Ellos dos.
Cállate.
Sí.
¿Y quién es el más guapo?
Eso sí, yo.
I'm so blessed and privileged to train Liam Smith and Callum Smith. Them two spar each other. Callum Smith, one of the most feared fighters in the super middleweight division at the moment, tremendous puncher. Watching them two spar each other, I just sat there going, wow, I've got the luckiest job in the world here watching these two. Callum, a faceful body puncher, will be sparring Liam. And if Canelo can hit as hard as Callum to the body, great. But if he can, we've got this. Liam, he's just got great temperament, ice cold blood going through his veins, doesn't panic, doesn't stress. And what he has got, which he can't teach, is world-class timing. He likes to hurt people. You watch his fights, he gets them in trouble, you can see him snarling, smiling. I've got you here now, and I'm sure I've got to take you out. You might have seen Liam Smith's Twitter. There's been quite a few people from America saying, we know you can do this, fighters. I mean, so we've got to win.
Look, there you go, there's the hands again. See the hands again, twice.
Watching Canelo versus Angulo, Canelo versus Cotto. Been studying at home, but I always have the laptop, it's beside me all the time. Just every now and again I'll look over, just like what you've seen there, and you snapshot stuff, and sometimes it's easier to take in. Well, I think the third shot, because you're coming straight in the line, they'll go 1-2, and instead of coming with the left hook, it'll be 1-2-3 or 1-2-3.
Different, and it'll be more intense. And I'll have Joe with the laptop next to sparring. When I'm sparring, he'll have the laptop on, and we'll do things. He'll count me punches around. We'll do a lot of things, and we'll make sure everything's covered for this. But Joe's a nice guy, but he will get vocal in this camp, and we'll have our ups and downs, because he won't leave no stone unturned.
Find that fit. Good, again. Up, again. There you go, lovely.
Like I say, they're in it together, they go home together, they travel in together, and they share it together, so they push each other on. There's days Callum might not feel like it, but Liam will pull him through in the bag, and other days vice versa as well. Yeah, 4 brothers, all 4 British champions. Liam's world champion, a remarkable achievement, 4 brothers in the one household, and to fight for world titles, who would have thought that,
I think the 4 of us are very close, because we're not far off age, we've got the same interests, and then most of all, I think we're from a very good family, we're from a solid family, my mum and dad. I don't know how to put this, but my mum and dad have been together, not been divorced, stuff like that. I think we're from a solid home, my mum and dad have been together, they're married 31 years, it's the same right through the family.
As growing up, what they see, the parents, it rubs off.
I like them to be respectful, and I do like them to be gentlemen. And I think you get further in life being a gentleman than a bully.
Paul's a good dad, Stephen's a good dad. Liam and Callum are not fathers yet, but they've grown up into nice gentlemen, which you can only hope for and wish for.
Kiss. His hug. Right hug.
We have a younger sister, Holly, she's autistic, she's 15 now. And she's been diagnosed with autism since a very, very early age. The 4 of us try and put it out there how much autism and raise awareness is, because 4 of us fight with on our shorts. Every single day on social media we'll get messages, autism, family member, my kid's got autism, I think it's unbelievable what you're doing for autism. I respect him, I do respect what he's done for Mexico, I respect him as a man, I respect him as a fighter for getting in the ring, but I won't show him no respect on September 17th. There was a couple of times I did look into his eyes and think, I had thoughts coming through my head that I just thought, there's no way you're beating me, and there's no way you're going to bully me like you bullied other people.
The jab is the key, and that's a big right hand, and he's got.
A lot of boxing matches, football matches, soccer matches ain't won on paper. They're won on the field and they're won in a boxing ring. And that's why boxing's such a beautiful sport. There's always the underdog story. Liam Smith's a world champion. And it isn't the case he's not a good fighter. He is a good fighter. But he hasn't been given the opportunity to show his skills to the American market and the Mexican market.
Música, música, señores. Es una fiesta importante hoy, este día.
Muy importante.
Estamos celebrando los 26 años de Saúl.
Y pues en la cocina me gusta porque soy muy tragón. Me gustan mucho los tacos, me gusta mucho la comida mexicana. Sí, está perfecto. Enfrentar a un campeón mundial siempre va a ser peligroso. Liam Smith es un campeón mundial y siempre va a ser Va a ser peligroso enfrentar a ese tipo de boxeadores, un peleador invicto que pega y que viene con una racha de 8 knockouts en fila. Yo creo que siempre es difícil, por eso nos estamos preparando bien. Sentimiento favorito del boxeo es cuando, y lo que disfruto más es cuando le ponen un cinturón a un peleador que yo entreno. Eso es lo máximo para mí en el boxeo.
Desde niño siempre me gustó montar a caballo, siempre me gustaron los caballos desde niño. Antes cuando estaba más chico trabajaba en una granja, entonces había muchos caballos, siempre andaba montando a caballo y me enseñé yo solo a andar en caballo. Mi papá fue el que inició enseñándome a andar en caballo porque a él también le gustan. El caballo es se puede decir, para una terapia para ti, para tu mentalidad, para tu tranquilidad. Algo muy completo.
Looking good.
Yo siempre, cualquier cosa que voy a hacer o que hago, siempre me encomiendo a Dios, siempre me persino, siempre que me subo a pelear, me pongo en las manos de Dios y que sea lo que Él quiera, ¿no? Porque
When a champion arises to battle the foe.
He not only wants to be a champion in the ring, not only does he want to be a great role model outside the ring, he wants to be special.
Deep in our soul.
yo en cada pelea me subo a dar la vida. No sé si voy a bajar o no, pero amo esto, amo lo que hago y me subo a dar lo mejor de mí.
Canelo Alvarez has to deliver on September 17th. There's a lot of pressure on this date. I mean, you have to go out there and fight. You have to go out there against a Liam Smith who is big, who is strong, who has a lot of pride.
Two great fighters of will going after it. I certainly see a test of will here.
He's a hero created with steel in his eyes, from the blood of our fathers and forged in the fire. He will bear any burden, pay any price for freedom and liberty. ¡Viva México!
The question is, who will deliver? Will Liam Smith come out and be victorious and take his title back to the UK? Or will Canelo rise to the occasion and scream, Viva Mexico, on September 17th, Mexican Independence Day?
I like suspense.
You like suspense?
Yeah.
I love this guy.